Big Bruno Guimaraes club-to-club talks happening next week. Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead, obviously come up and obviously give us a very huge update onto this particular story. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Openda, here we go, has been pronounced by Fabrizio Romano. And then we obviously gonna be seeing what else we obviously gonna be talking about in the coming stories in here for you. And lastly, the new manager for Juventus, Luciano Spalletti, has confirmed to us that indeed Julian Dibu Martinez wants to move in there for you. We are powered by Think Landscaping, and Think Landscaping are dealers in they are dealers in designing, planning, and transforming your outdoor spaces and the green spaces, name it. It is a company that will maintain what they've gone ahead to construct for you, all design for you, or what they've already gone ahead to design for you. So call them on those big numbers and you'll thank me later. It is the Think Landscaping, and they are dealers in what we call the outdoor spaces. They are the number one company when it comes to that, and when you deal with them, you'll thank me later. So let's obviously get deep into this. And before we really head into what Fabrizio told us about Bruno Guimaraes today, we obviously bring you the update onto what we have as our subscribers. We are left with 5 subscribers to hit 29,600. So please, this video should give us 5 subscribers to see to it that we hit 29,600, to see to it that we go for the 400 remaining subscribers to hit 30,000 subscribers into the mix. Now, Fabrizio Romano has said the following on his X account, that Arsenal set for new club-to-club contacts next week for Bruno Guimaraes, personal terms in place and new approach, with Newcastle anticipated to proceed, plus £70 million proposal expected to be improved. Deal depends on Newcastle decision on exit/price. So next week is really going to be very important. And I went ahead on YouTube and really quoted exactly what Fabrizio Romano went ahead to obviously say. He said, on Arsenal, don't forget the Bruno Guimaraes story, because Arsenal are expecting to return onto the table over next week for Bruno Guimaraes. Arsenal want Bruno Guimaraes. Mikel Arteta considers him a top priority. So Arsenal are expected to be back in direct negotiations with Newcastle from next week. It's going to be an important week of new contacts. Then if the deal can get done next week, none of this depends on the negotiations of the two clubs. The player has agreed personal terms with the North London club in their favor. That means next week is really going to be very, very, very crucial for this deal of Bruno Guimaraes. So Arsenal are going to be going hard on the Bruno Guimaraes deal. And they're like, we are obviously going to make what we call a very big approach in there for you, and see to it that Newcastle is convinced to obviously take the amount of money that Arsenal has the table. It is expected that they expected to improve on their £70 million third bid in there for you, to see to it that it really raises in the figures that Newcastle want. It is said that at 85 million pounds, Newcastle are willing to let this guy go, who goes by names of Bruno Guimaraes, in there for you. So the player wants to play for Arsenal. That is it. And Mikel Arteta wants the player, and the gulf in the pricing is not all that huge. £10 million is not all that huge. And I know in the negotiations that Arsenal will be having this coming week, they'll come to a compromise and they obviously get this deal done and dusted. And they get it out of the way. Because if you are Arsenal and you went ahead and obviously decided to obviously go in for Vinicius Jr., you don't need the deal of Bruno Guimaraes to shadow the news that you'll get from signing Vinicius Jr., because that is obviously going to be, I think, the biggest signing of Arsenal in their history, I tell you. Because how many world-class players has Arsenal gone ahead to bring in? Especially from I know they've brought in Ozil, but look at Vinicius Jr. Because by the time they brought in Ozil, I think he was really dropping, But Vini has just gone ahead to hit his prime in there for you. And he's a player who is really chasing for big things. That is it. And he's a player that the entire world will shake. The opponents of Arsenal will shake when Arsenal do bring him in. So what you do if at all you are Arsenal is you have to speed up the deal of Bruno Guimaraes such that you create enough space for this deal of a man called Vinicius Jr. So I think, as I told you, this weekend or next week, that's when this deal of Bruno Guimaraes will obviously get done. That is it. I do believe that next week won't surpass without Arsenal getting the deal of Bruno Guimaraes done, because if they really do the L game and they dilly-dally around, they are giving chance to other teams that need midfielders to come in through and obviously be like, we obviously coming in for Bruno Guimaraes. And the moment a bidding war comes in through, it will obviously faint the chances of Arsenal of getting the player, because every time Arsenal is going to hit to go into the bidding war, they've not going to hit obviously succeed, especially this season. They've gone ahead to give up on very many other players in there for you. So thank you guys for watching in through. Bruno Guimaraes to Arsenal, big week, big week coming up as Arsenal set to do club to club talks and see what will happen when when these two meet and see to it that all goes on as was planned. Remember, each and every time you go to Newcastle, if you have the right price, you'll get the player that you want, because their CEO, is it Hopkins in there for you, told us that every player at Newcastle has a price. That's why for them to sell, it's something very easy. It's not hard. And now Arsenal knows it very well at the back of their mind that it's the guy they really need in their midfield. So we wait and see how that pans out. But Fabrizio is obviously doing the needful. Now, let's leave that deal. Let's leave that story for Bruno Guimaraes there. And let's get to a player known as Luis Openda in there for you. A man who has been playing as a striker for RB Leipzig. And it's a here we go. He has left RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig looks like they're obviously going to lose their forward line. You understand? And they've told us that Luis Openda to Olympique Lyon. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place on loan deal from Juventus. Olympique Lyon to cover the salary and pay around 3 million euros loan fee. No buy clause. Reports by Fabrice Hawkins. Openda already gave green light days ago as per Santi J. Medical is happening next week. So, he's going to join a team known as Olympique Lyonnais on loan. That is Luis Openda. He's a very good striker. That is it. And very many people or very many teams have been chasing out for him in the recent past. But I think it never really went ahead to reach the levels where they wanted. But when you look at Luis Openda, last season, he played for Juventus and played 24 matches. Or he was playing for Juventus, right? And RB Leipzig sold him to Juventus, and now Juventus have gone to loan him to Olympique Lyon. He played 24 games for Juventus in the league and scored 1 goal. That is really a very bad output by a striker. UEFA Champions League, 8 games, 1 goal. Very bad output in there for you. At the World Cup, 5 games, 0 goals in there for you. When he was at RB Leipzig, he went ahead, obviously dry down in the last season. That's why they sold him. So Olympique Lyonnais is like, let's get in this guy and see where he'll obviously take us at the level. So we wait and see how things pan out for Luis Openda from a team known as Juventus to a side known as Olympique Lyonnais. Loan with no mandatory buy clause or any clause of buyback in there for you. From there, we obviously head to what we call the Juventus manager, Luciano Spalletti. He has told us that Emi Martinez is a player who wants to move this summer, and we are looking for competition. We've already got 2 goalkeepers at the moment. That's what he said. So, Emiliano Martinez is the goalkeeper who wants to move, no doubt about it. And the side of Juventus are really putting it out loud that they want the goalkeeper. You understand? And this is a 2-time consecutive World Cup finalist in there for you. And going in to do the job at the old lady is really one of those moments that you believe the player will hugely want in there. So Spalletti will be looking forward to putting in a very huge shift to see to it that he really gets this out of the way. And I tell you what, I just can't wait to see how Aston Villa will react. But Aston Villa is a selling team also because they do believe that there is certain financial fair play restrictions that they shouldn't obviously reach at. Because if at all they reach at, they might find themselves in a position of being penalized. That's why you see to it that it was very easy for them to move on a player known as who? What's his name? Morgan Rogers, to a club known as Chelsea, and they're looking to move out more, and they're bringing in Garnacho on loan. It's not that they cannot sign him right now, but they're like, financially, we bring him in on loan, and they also want to bring in Nicholas Jackson on loan, and then see to it that all goes on well as to plan. So please, thank you very much for checking through. Rokani David is my name. Your thoughts on big Bruno Guimaraes club-to-club talks next week are happening. What do you make about it? Openda to Olympic Lyonnais, will it be the right team to go to revive his career in there for you? And obviously Luciano Spalletti breaking silence onto signing Dibu Martinez from Aston Villa. I sign out for now. See you later. First video of the day, and then bye bye.